recording.
Okay, welcome everybody. I'm going to call to order this meeting of the Ceiba Charter School Board of Directors on November 7th, 2003. In attendance tonight, we have following board members: Mary Navas, Roberto Portillo, and Michael Jones. Short one person for quorum. We're expecting Gershom Police to show present themselves momentarily. From the school staff, we have Josh Ripp, returning from his convalescence rehab, and Rachel Pedley and Rosie Infante. On Zoom, well, in terms of guests, on Zoom we have Mr. or Mrs. School Scout, Ken from EMS. What's Ken's last name?
Parks.
Ken Park.
Parks.
Mhm.
Park.
Park, no S.
And we have
Yeah, we heard you.
What?
Just Park with no S.
Oh, okay. We have Efrain Ian and his mother. I don't have your Ruby.
Yeah.
Last name?
Ethan.
Ian. Soon. And also joining us is.
Not this part.
You got that? Okay. Righty. This is the point at which we would approve the agenda, but we're going to put that action on hold until we get the fourth board member. At this point, we will now move to closed session.
Well, we're going to need a quorum for that. We could do public comment and reports.
Okay, let's do go to public comment then. This is an opportunity for anybody to indicate they would like to share something with the board that is not on tonight's agenda.
I would like to share.
Yes. Is there
Yeah. Should I go to the front or?
any- you can do it right there.
Right here? Oh, okay.
Whatever you're like, kind of comfortable with.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, so. Hi, like I said, I'm a parent of a ninth grader and a 11th grader, and a student that graduated in class of 2020. And I went to the career college night on the last month, and it was very interesting. It was my first time attending, just because my oldest, who's a junior, is not really wanting to go to college. Even though I have a son that's actually attending and about to graduate, he does not want to go to college. And I took this route because I wanted to explore different options, short careers, technical careers. And in there, I found out that other schools around our district are actually creating pathways that their students are going into medical fields or, like small, like not long term. And I wanted to know, or if we could as a school, somehow make our students, because not everybody is college 4-year committed right now. Maybe in the future they can. But giving a pathway where they could get their feet wet and start off working, and then maybe after they could see that they want to actually invest time in education. I've started also being more involved with the events going here at school, and I see that I get this feeling as a parent that there's not a lot of support for our students when creating these events. These last 2 events have been very rushed, very organized, really very not well planned. This is my feeling. And talking to some students, they also feel that there's a lack of communication within the school, the parents and the students. That's one of the subjects that I also wanted to talk. And in talking to this student, he also told me that it's not very easy for students to do the dual enrollment at career college while attending Ceiba. And I wanted to see how can we as a school promote or facilitate our students to continue dual enrollment by by not making them take evening classes, because I've known that a lot of students are attending Ceiba are doing evening classes. And this is college level courses where you're sleeping at 12, 1 o'clock in the morning trying to finish college work. And they're still coming to school. So, I mean, I give them props because they're doing this. But how can we make it a little bit easier for them where they're not like maybe shortening their day at Ceiba where they could take an afternoon class and not an evening class? Just things to explore that I've heard around. And like I said, my son, I'm not thinking only about my son or my kids. I'm thinking of the community in general. Because I think that Ceiba in our community is known for a very good school, strict school, and I want that reputation that we have in our community to actually be true. And that's my feeling. That's all I wanted to share.
Thank you. Any other comments or public comment section?
Well, I'm Sandra Palacios. My daughter Viviana Palacios, she's a senior, and well, I was just told by my daughter over the phone that my husband never went to the Rio to get registered. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do. And what I get from my daughter is that she sent me a list of things that probably it is important to discuss, because she feels like she's not supported enough, right? And that she's not well informed what it's supposed to do while she's in W. All she needed is just her social security card or number, and so they just went for about 20 minutes, and that's all. So that's all they spent because she didn't have enough information they supposed Mrs. Morales provided or guidance prior to W for this registration. And she sent me a list. Can we start using the microwave? And she said, oh, I'm sorry, but that's something that she would like to do. Can parents drop off food for kids? IDK, I don't know what really that means. I don't know. Oh, I don't know what else for school meeting. Sorry, you know kids. So, but mainly for me, it is I'm supported with this event that it's mentioned. It's the lack of communication, the respect from staff to us. I got a situation on Wednesday a week ago. Gosh, I'm gonna use just my single myself because I suggested to bring folklorical, which is they were here, and in contact with Graciela from Ceiba because I know her, and she was here, but it's something that we need to donate. It's not free. It's like about $100, right? And I donate some bread. At the end of the event, I show up because I was busy with my son at Taekwondo class. And all I want is just get some food so I can take it home for my husband since he couldn't be here. I was told by one of the staff, no more sales in Spanish, no more sales and no more give up. And probably as probably you know, there was enough food, enough. And so how do I can put myself in this situation is so we help school with our own money, but we can get anything back, right? And I know we supposed to pay for that, right? It would be pretending to get it, but I didn't have the chance to say so. Did I? So I spoke to one of the staff members, what what happened at the kitchen, and I was very disappointed. It's not the first time as a parent that we receive uh, lack of communication for treat for one of the members here. So I really request that they really respect us. Okay, that's for me is very important. And what I said is, oh, since I was very upset, I said, well, my daughter is her last year, and I'm glad. And this is it. I'm not participating in anything else. It was very embarrassing to hear from one of the staff member that is a counselor. Well, I assume that she's a counselor is because she understands parents, right? Parents' culture, approach, and I didn't get anything.
So just for clarification, you were talking about receiving food from during the lunch program?
No,
or
no,
out of the
that
back?
was the event of the other was mornings. There
So
was
parents-
enough food, honestly.
And this was food that parents.
Yeah, the
brought?
parents we provided. I didn't donate that specific food that I was asking for. Okay, so it was so embarrassing that a student out loud speak out loud and said, "Who else wants some food?" And I said, "Me, I want to take some home." When I walked in the kitchen, that's what I received. Very loud from the council. No give up and no sense anymore. Nothing. And that's when I said, well, thank you. I also provide, I also donate, and this is what I get. It's not about the food, it's about the not, yes. And it's not the first time. It happened also at the Dia de Banda. Yeah. One of the parents shared some comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from?
I have one question. There was talk update about the police trip. If there was approved and denied.
So we can't respond to questions or comments during public comment. It's just you speak during public comment, then we can't respond to it. But I will email you right at the end of this meeting regarding the Greek trip, and I do speak about it during my presentation. Okay. All right. Uh-huh.
For asking.
For Capri, for me, it's not that difficult. I mean, to sign up for dual enrollment, it took a little bit long because you have to get your Cabrillo ID and then you have to sign up for the class and then screenshot and send it to the counselor. But apart from that, it's not really that long. At least in my opinion.
Thank you.
All right. Good with public comment. You have any word from Gershon?
No. He knows we're up here. There's no email. You want to try giving him a call? But we still can go into reports without.
Okay, let's go on to the report section and the Ceiba unaudited actuals. Poll.
This one usual. Okay, so Ken, do you have the alt form there? Do you want to present on the alt form?
Yeah, I can pull it up. And if anyone has questions, we can go over those. I believe we went over the unaudited actual itself last meeting,
Mhm.
but I believe Mary requested it, to attach the alt form for next meeting.
Mhm. So this is, I don't know if the rest of the other board members have seen the alt form, but this is the actual form that gets filed to the authorizer, and then it goes to the County Office of Ed, and then they in turn send it up to the CDE. So I just wanted to make sure the rest of the board members know that the report that DMS gives us is a fabulous report, but this is what you really should be seeing. So it'd be great to have this alt form for every budget revision. You can still do your part, Ken, right? That whole thing. But just so that we have it so that board members can say, yes, I've seen the alt form and it matches what is in our DMS report. That's all. That was the only reason why, because I don't know if you guys have seen this report at all. Michael, do you remember seeing this report?
I don't recall ever seeing this before.
Yeah,
We
this
always
is,
have it when we approve the unaudited actual, so, but I mean, we don't pull it up on the screen.
okay, so it should be included in our board package, just so that it's in there that the rest of the board members see. I know when I bring, my report, it's 115 pages, but it's what the state requires us to fill out. This alt form is what the state requires us to fill out. So it's just important to include it, but to still continue to have DMS's overview, because that one is a little easier than this one to understand. The numbers will match, so I'm not worried about that.
Is it possible to be some volume?
Well, I didn't hear what he asked.
Yes, okay, that's the max we've got there. No.
Yeah, so that's all. That was the only reason why. Thank you, Ken, for bringing it back. I appreciate it.
Okay.
And call it an alt form. Why is it an alternative form?
It's an alternative form because charters get to fill out, what is this, 5 or 6 pages? And traditional public schools fill out about 115 pages. It's an alternative form.
So basically what
Also
happens
preferable.
each time we have a interim budget approved, we go over this, I sign it, I send it to the district, to what was Clint Rucker, I forgot the name of the new CBO, as well
Right.
as CBO for the Santa Cruz
Uh-huh.
County Education, yes.
Mhm.
And then they approve it there. So we approved the interim budget in the October meeting, and just like Ms. Nava said, she wanted to see the alt form here, and I think there was an error because we always have the alt form attached to each time we approve it. So I appreciate her requesting that we attach this to the November meeting, and then yes, this will always be in each of the subsequent interim budget approvals. And we'll make a point to pull it up on the screen though, so everybody can see it. And I don't think we've done that in the past.
Yep, I think that's great.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the EMS monthly update first of September.
Yes, even though it's November 7th, they're always,
Couple months behind.
well, 1 month behind. Go ahead, Ken. Can you share your screen again?
Yes.
There we go.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight I present Ceiba's DMS monthly update as of September 30th, 2023. So this is a summary analysis page where I wrote down the summary of tonight's presentation. So I'll be going over what's written here. So we'll just go to the next page. So here on the budget summary page, we compare the latest board approved budget, which is July preliminary budget versus year-to-date actuals. In this case, it's as of September 30th. So it is September, which means we are through about 25% of the fiscal year. So as of September, we received about 5% of the revenue, and expenditure is at 24%. All right.
What that means is that we're spending on target, but in terms of reimbursement from the state, income from the state only received 5%.
That's correct.
To catch up at some point during the year.
Correct.
Oh, sorry, it is a little hard to hear.
It is hard to hear.
Okay, so Michael was, I'm just gonna repeat what he said. So Michael was saying that we're spending is on target, 25%, but the revenues are lagging since we've only collected 5% of the revenues thus far.
Yes, that is natural for charter schools in the beginning of the fiscal year because mostly federal and state fundings, we receive the fundings on a reimbursement basis where we spend our money first and they will reimburse us for it. Also, it is also worth to note that we're still receiving 22-23 fiscal year revenues. They're still paying out those prior year revenues. So we're still receiving money for it, but it won't be recognized in this year, if that makes sense.
Because you recognized it last year's unaudited.
Yes, correct. Okay, so yes, to continue off of that, the detail section, you'll see the revenues are lighter than the expenses because we're still waiting to receive EPA and in lieu property taxes from PVUSD. Those are still pending. And on the federal and state revenues, those are also light. As I mentioned earlier, that's because feds and state are still paying out previous year's revenues. But they should start to flow in starting around November and just ramp up in December and January. So those are in progress.
I have a question, and this might be more for Josh. So Josh, what's your agreement with PVUSD on receiving your in lieu property taxes? Is there a schedule, like you get it twice a year, or?
We worked on that throughout the email, and that's always just up to when PVUSD lets us know that those taxes are available.
Okay.
Yeah, they seem to be a little late in lieu taxes. Last year, I checked and they paid. Our first payment was in February, so that's pretty late. That's after I emailed them about it. So maybe I'll follow up with them, see where they're at.
So just so you know, we have a charter school that we transfer in lieu property taxes to, and we do it twice a year, December and April. So they are short up. By the time the end of the year comes, we just have to shore up the last little bit, according to what P2 tells me their in lieu is. So they should really be paying you within the year you're supposed to be receiving it. So you may want to push that piece. Because it's not necessarily a cash flow issue, because Ceiba doesn't have a cash flow issue, but it could be a cash flow issue.
Oh, it could be, yeah.
And yeah. So
That be connected at all to the fact that there's a new CFO at PVUSD?
No, it's been pretty consistent that this is how
they operate.
Yeah. But I do think you make a good point, Ms. Navas. While we are flush with cash right now, it was just 4 years ago that we were not. So I think that we do need to keep an eye on. So.
on the expenditure side. Small. Okay, on the expenditures, everything seemed to be on track overall with 24% of the budget. As for the individual line items, Josh and I will be realigning the budget during our first interim budget process, which will be presented in December. So stay tuned. Any other questions?
No questions.
No questions.
All right. Moving on to the cash flow. This is a monthly cash flow statement where it shows the inflow and outflow of the cash on a monthly basis. So as of September, we have about 189 days cash on hand, which is about $4.3 million. And the cash will steadily increase throughout the year. And Ceiba is projected to end the fiscal year with about 349 days cash on hand, which is about $7.9 million.
Any questions for Ken?
Nope.
Sorry.
No questions, so
Nope.
All right. Last but not least, we have a balance sheet. Balance sheet shows the kind of like a snapshot of Ceiba's financial position as of a certain point. In this case, it will be September 30th. So as of September, we have about $8.6 million in asset, and liabilities is at 1.3 million. It is which is kept at a minimum. So which makes it about 7.2 million in net asset, which is basically the net worth of Ceiba. So overall, Ceiba remains to be in a very good financial position. And that wraps up the September DMU. Thank you.
any final questions for Ken?
No.
All right, thank you very much, Ken. Okay, before going on to the head of school report, we now have our quorum because Gershon Police has shown up.
Thank you, sorry.
Good to see you. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion approved.
So moved. Oh,
Can I make one, I want to remove the stipends for student-funded trips from action items.
Okay.
And the reason why is I'm going to address it in my head of school report.
so it's not going to be addressed. Is that what you mean?
It is going to be addressed. It's going to be addressed in my head of school report.
Okay,
We're not going to take any action tonight.
The board doesn't need to take any action tonight.
perfect.
Okay, with the, let's see, where'd that go? With the elimination of item 7A, stipends for student trips, let's, do I have a motion again?
So moved.
Thank you, Mary. Dr. Portillo seconds. Thank you. All those, I have to do a voice. Mary, how do you vote?
Aye.
Gershon, how do you vote? Aye. And Dr. Portillo, how do you vote? Aye. And I vote aye as well, Dr. Jones. So unanimous. The agenda is approved. Let's move back to the head of school report.
Do you, since we have quorum now, do you want to go into closed session?
Oh. Yep. That's a good idea.
Okay. And then just for everybody on Zoom, we're having a little bit of Zoom trouble tonight. So the Zoom is going to turn off and then we're going to turn it back on once closed session is over. Okay, so
Okay,
And-
I'll call in.
yeah, okay. Yep.
Hey,
And then,
Josh.
okay,
Hi, Ken.
Hey, Josh.
I can take care.
Go ahead, Ken.
I can go? Okay.
yes.
Bye.